We're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on Tuesday, September 16th. We've got 16 games here on the 16th for the MLB because the Nationals and the Braves are playing a doubleheader today, an exciting one in the nation's capital. But again, 16 games today, and we've got our 5 best bets again for these 16. If you have not yet, though, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below before we get started with the video. Later today, we will be having our NFL predictions out on the channel for week number 3. And also yesterday we posted our college football predictions for week number 4. That is about 3 hours and 45 minutes long of college football predictions. Every single game in the week 4 college football slate has been posted to the channel. Make sure to go check that out. That is linked in the description down below. On Greedo Plays MMA this week, our Contender Series predictions for week number 6. That is the only video this week, or at least until Saturday, on Greedo Plays MMA with the UFC being off. But the Contender Series is tonight, so make sure to go check out that video. That is linked in the description down below. Go subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA as well. Let's get into it. The first of our 5 best bets today will come with the early game. How to do it? How to do it for the 10 o'clock start time. Washington Nationals host the Atlanta Braves. I'm going Nats spread today, or Nats run line, I guess is more appropriate for baseball. Now, I do make a tradition out of picking against Jake Irvin and automatically, seeing Jake Irvin start and picking against him. I'm actually going to do the opposite today. We're actually going to go with Jake Irvin and the Nationals. Not because of Jake, though. Nope. Because if you were to bet the Nationals opponents minus 1.5 against Jake Irvin for the last, month, you'd win 7 out your last 9 bets just because Jake Irvin isn't that good. He's arguably, I hate to say this, I like the guy, but arguably the worst starting pitcher in baseball right now, which is just brutal. 5.7 ERA. So why am I taking the Nationals to cover today? Jose Suarez is pitching for the Atlanta Braves. This is a guy who I believe has pitched in 2 games this year in the majors in a relief capacity. He's been pitching in AAA Gwinnett for the Stripers. Stripers. Oh my, the Stripers. Yeah, why would the AAA team just be named the Strippers? For the Gwinnett Stripers, he's just been mid in AAA, and now they're calling him up. He's a 27-year-old who's pitched at the major league level before. This is a guy with a career ERA in the major leagues of 5.41. Minor league ERA this season is 3.5. Just, again, not bad numbers, but a guy who, let's just say, a quadruple A pitcher, right? An AAA pitcher, a guy who, is serviceable and good at the AAA level, but once he gets to the major league level, he's not the greatest. I think the Nationals should be able to take advantage. I know, again, lefties against the Nats sometimes can hurt them because we are so left-handed heavy. And, at the beginning of the season, we didn't really mind the matchup. Now it's like, all right, James Wood's not great against lefties. Abrams will be fine. And here's the thing. The Nats, Miguel Cairo still manages the Nationals like they're in a playoff push, which is just hilarious because they're 62 and 88. But here's the thing, right? So with the Braves starting Jose Suarez today for the first half of the doubleheader and Chris Sale for the second half, I'm so serious. There's a good chance Cairo just plays the righties in back-to-back games. So like a guy like, Lyles established himself as a starter now. Well, here's it. Like Brady, he'll probably split the Brady house reps. Just because, of course, DeYoung can play there too. There's a chance DeYoung plays in both of the games today. I'm serious. DeYoung might play the first half of the doubleheader at second, and the second half of the doubleheader at third. And House will sit one, and Luis Garcia will sit the other. I know House is a righty, but Cairo just likes the matchup better with Paul DeYoung. The best example of this is, and I know, again, right, RH3 is not playing the best baseball this season. I still prefer him over Jacob Young at the plate. But anyways, I can almost guarantee you Jacob Young's going to play both halves of the doubleheader today. At least, definitely the first, just because that's how Cairo manages. He sees, okay, well, we get the better matchups. And sure, right, are Young and Hassel basically interchangeable? Kind of. Young is a better defender, I'd say. Hassel is probably better at the plate. But, from a standpoint of the organization and for what we want going forward, we want to see Robert Hassel playing right now. Because we kind of know we have it at Jacob Young. Worst case, right, Jacob Young's back next year as this 4th outfielder, and that's kind of what I want him to be. We just need to see if we have anything out of RH3, right? But for Cairo, he's going to manage games like he wants to win the World Series still, which, as a fan of the long-term product in DC, it's a little bit frustrating. But if you're picking the Nationals to win, it's not horrible. Because, again, like a guy like Paul DeYoung against a right-handed pitcher right now is probably going to go 0 for 4. Hell, Paul DeYoung played yesterday, right? Which I don't understand. Why are we giving Brady House days off? Doesn't make sense to me, right? But yesterday, Paul DeJong plays against Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider dominates the Nationals yesterday. I know the Nats scored early with the Dalen Lyle home run, but I mean, who told you to take Braves over runs, right? I'm not going after anybody here, but I did see comments of saying that that people are going with the Nationals today. Guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I watch this team every single day, and I know what we're gonna get some nights. I don't know what the momentum was with the Nationals. Okay, I'm happy. I'm glad you guys were picking the Nationals today or yesterday. I didn't get it. Anyways, today I think it's a much better spot. One problem I have is like, all right, this is where the Cairo emphasis of managing is going, or just where the Cairo mindset of managing is going to hurt us here. Automatically, we're probably going to get Andres Chaparro in the first half of the doubleheader. Again, I imagine him and Bell probably split, but one guy gets the first, one guy gets the second game. I have a feeling they're going to start Chaparro in the first game, who again is not a bad hitter. He's a righty, so it's a better matchup for him against the lefty and Suarez. But Josh Bell is levels ahead of Andres Chaparro, but they still kind of platoon, which makes no sense to me. So expect a guy like Paul DeJong to play today, right? Again, yesterday DeJong goes 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, because somehow he's still facing off against a righty and Strider, but he actually is a solid hitter against left-handed pitching. So all things considered, I'm going Nationals plus 1.5. Jake Irvin, guys, he's going to give up 4 or 5 runs. Oh, he's going to. I know it's not an encouraging thing to say. I believe the Nats are going to keep pace, though. I think they're going to score off of Jose Suarez. This is a early game. There's going to be nobody in attendance. There was nobody last night. There's going to be even less tonight. And it's just going to be one of these weird games where a bunch of runs are scored, okay? And I think the Nats are able to keep pace. Hammer the over in this game. That should be the bet. No, this is fine. Over 9.5 is a sure thing, too. If I'm looking at this, yeah. That seems like a lock as well. But I'm taking Nats plus 1.5 here against the Braves. I just spent 7 minutes talking about Nationals Braves in September. Wow. Next best bet. Let's go to Fenway Park. Romy Gonzalez is the best player prop today in the Red Sox and Athletics game from Fenway Park at 3 o'clock, 3:30, I believe, 3:45. Pitching matchup, Jeffrey Springs versus Connolly Early. And how about Connolly Early, right? First start against the Athletics, 5 innings of shutout baseball. Who was the pitcher he faced that night? It was Jeffrey Springs from the Athletics, and we had Red Sox money line that day. Initially, we thought it was going to be Dustin May versus Jeffrey Springs. Instead, we got Early, and he had a great Major League debut. Springs in that game, though, got beat up bad early in the game. First inning, right, Boston jumps all over Springs. They score 4 runs in the first inning, another in the second, and it made it a really easy watch for us for the rest of the game because Boston was always in control. How did Boston get on the board, though, first? Romy Gonzalez hit a solo home run. Leadoff hitter, he goes yard immediately. Okay, and right, Boston ends up hitting a 3-run bomb later in the inning, but it all started with Romy Gonzalez, who is a left-handed pitching specialist. I mean, that's what he's here for. Obviously, I mean, he can bat against rights, but this is why he's here. Romy Gonzalez this season is a .312 hitter, and again, that's mainly against left-handed arms. Romy Gonzalez in every game so far in September, Romy Gonzalez has a hit, which is insane. And in every game but 3 in the month of September, he's played about 14, 13. Romy Gonzalez has cleared 1.5 total bags. He's 16 for 37 in the month. He's batting .432. What? Romy Gonzalez is on one right now. He is on a streak at the plate. And even back that up to the end of August, I mean, Romy Gonzalez is on a crazy hitting streak. He's on a 15, 16, 17 game hitting streak right now. And that's a product of mainly seeing left-handed arms. But however, they've been having to play Romy Gonzalez every single day with some injuries. Well, and also because Nathaniel Lowe's their other option, and Nathaniel Lowe still plays, but it is what it is. But Gonzalez is playing second though too, right? Gonzalez playing second, first. I think he DHs some too. Anyways, we're taking him here today. This is an automatic for me, man. Last game against Jeffrey Springs, he takes him yard. Today, I'd expect, I don't know if a home run, but I think an extra base knock, right? Like yesterday, what Romy Gonzalez does, on Sunday, what Romy Gonzalez does for Boston, 2 hits, a double, and a single. Okay. That's 3 total bags right there on Sunday Night Baseball against New York. Red Sox don't play yesterday. Travel day for the Athletics going from Sacramento all the way across country to Boston. But Gonzalez is having a great year. And this is the matchup that he specializes in. And look at the last time that And I get it, the game's in Sacramento, right? It's a different game when when the Red Sox play in Sacramento compared to when they play, when the A's play in Sacramento compared to where they play to anywhere else in the country. But Romy Gonzalez, man, looked so good in that game against Jeffrey Springs. 2 at-bats in the first 2 innings, home run in the first, and a double in the second inning, especially after that. Nathaniel Lowe took over for him at first. I don't think we're going to see that today. I think Springs is going to go, I imagine 5-ish innings. And that's going to give us probably 3 at-bats for Romy Gonzalez, who I would expect to lead off tonight as well. So this feels like a pretty good line for us. Minus 115 is almost automatic here. A guy who has cleared this in 12 out the last 14, 15 games he's played. 16, 17 game hitting streak. I mean, I'll be damned if it ends today, especially against a mediocre pitcher in Jeffrey Springs, a below mediocre pitcher in Jeffrey Springs. I know his ERA actually isn't the worst this season. It's 4.28, but it's a guy who gives up a lot of runs. Jeffrey Springs so far in 2 starts in September, 5.73 ERA. ERA in the month of August was 5.04 for Jeffrey Springs' only good start being on the road in DC against the Nationals. Because of course it was. But I like this play a lot. First time we've ever gone with Romy Gonzalez here for a best player prop, and that's what we're going to do here. Minus 115 for the Red Sox first baseman / second baseman, Romy Gonzalez, to reach 2 total bags. I believe it's going to be an extra base knock, double, home run, even a triple. Don't care. He's going to get it done. Find a gap for us, Romy Gonzalez. Maybe off the monster. Minus 115. That's going to be our second best bet of the day. Going on to our third as we move to our first money line. Minus 110 on both sides, right? Oh, by the way, I need to preface this. Nationals plus 1.5 for the first game of the doubleheader today, if you didn't pick up on that. I'm staying away from Chris Sale and Mackenzie Gore. Love Mackenzie. I can't bet on him right now, especially with Sale pitching against him. So we're going to stay away from the second half of the doubleheader. We're going to take advantage of the lone game being played in the early afternoon / morning for me, at least. Okay. Third best bet of the video on Turner Broadcast Station. We've got the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the New York Metropolitans. Give me the Padres. San Diego is 3-0 this season against the New York Mets. I was at one of the games down in San Diego where we actually had the Mets, but San Diego's 3-0 against New York right now. Guys, I can't trust in the Mets. The Mets were on their huge losing streak. They break it on Sunday, right? A game that arguably they should have lost. Well, yeah, you can't really say that. They were on the verge of losing is a better way of putting that, right? Extra innings game. Texas can't convert in extra innings, even with the ghost runner at second, right? Rangers go scoreless in the top half of the 10th inning, and New York ends up walking it off in the bottom half of the 10th inning with a 3-run opposite field walk-off from Pete Alonso. Good for the Mets, right? They finally figured out how to win a baseball game, but now you get the Padres coming into town, and I have crapped all over the Padres over the last couple weeks for good reason. Last month, really, for good reason. This team's not very good either. Guys, both of these teams suck, okay? We're going to take the team that doesn't suck as much. And a team that they both have a lot to play for. Don't get me wrong, right? Padres 2 games out of the NL West. That's really 3, though, because the Dodgers have the tiebreaker on them. But still, 3 in, 2 weeks, that's doable. Not likely, but when you see the team San Diego's playing, well, they play the White Sox and the Brewers and the Diamondbacks. It's doable is what I'm trying to get at here. And then the New York Metropolitans, they are holding on tight to that final wildcard spot. You are a game and a half up now on the Arizona Diamondbacks. I still don't know who has the tiebreaker. I need to figure that one out now that we're getting serious about the Diamondbacks actually making the playoffs potentially. But you're a game and a half up on the D-backs, and really you're only a game up on the Cincinnati Reds. That's the more concerning one. Cincinnati finally wins yesterday, and we'll get to them in a second. So the Mets have to keep winning, because just because you win 1 game out of 11 doesn't mean that you can settle down now. You have to keep winning. I don't think they're going to today. Guys, Clay Holmes is pitching. And we've actually taken Clay Holmes quite a bit this year. I'm going to go against him tonight just because of how he's pitched recently. Clay Holmes has been like an automatic 4 runs in every start his last couple outings. The Mets have lost the last 3 games in which Holmes has pitched. Back on August 28th against the Miami Marlins, he goes 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. Against the Tigers on the 3rd of September, 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. And in his last start against Philadelphia on the road in the bank, he gets beat up, 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. He's struggling to even get to the full 5 innings. Walking guys, he walked 3 guys in the Tigers start, 3 guys in the Phillies start. I'm not telling you San Diego's a good hitting team. They're not. Yeah, they hit well against Colorado. Okay, it's the Rockies. I think they're going to be able to hit against Clay Holmes. right? It's a team that concerns me, right? And I don't think highly of either of these squads. I'll put that out there right now. San Diego's got the bats, though. They should have the bats. And that's the thing. They've always had the bats. Can they actually come through today? I think they're going to. Clay Holmes has not been good. Tatis is kind of cold, but went 3 for 4 in his last game on Sunday. You still got Merrill. You got Machado, Arise, Laureano, O'Hearn, Sheets. On paper, and I keep saying this with San Diego, on paper, they should win the World Series. After the trade deadline, I said, okay, this team's going to win the World Series. I don't believe that anymore because their bats are going to hold them back. And just because they lost Jason Adam doesn't mean they're not winning the World Series anymore. But their bats are not good enough to get them through the postseason. Their arms are, but it's going to be a real struggle when you can only score 3 runs max in a postseason game. I don't know if Arise is playing today. He's still day-to-day. If he's not playing, it doesn't really concern us too much, I'll be honest. It just means that O'Hearn and Sheets have to play rather than, Schultz saying, I'm just going to sit one out today, right? Again, in the postseason, I don't love San Diego. I think right now, I think they'd probably beat the Cubs. But then I think they go down in the first round to both Philadelphia or potentially Milwaukee, especially, not having home field advantage throughout that series. But I think they beat the Mets today. I think they do. Michael King is starting for San Diego, 2.87 ERA this season. Came off a long injury, pitched 1 game in August, out for a month, back in his last start on the 9th against the Cincinnati Reds. A good start, a quality start for King, considering the circumstances, right? 5 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. Not horrible, only goes 63 pitches. I'd assume that this is going to be another ramp-up game for Michael King, a guy who is a front-line starter, obviously, for San Diego. I'd expect him to get a heavier load today. Only 57 pitches back in the 1 start in August, 63 against the Reds in September, or early September, obviously, on just a week ago. I'd expect 70-ish pitches now. And then they go 80-something for his potential last start or second to last start of the regular season, and they try to stay in the 80s for his last start of the regular season. So expect 5 or 6 innings today out of Michael King, and that's fine. The Mets lineup is struggling so badly right now. They struggle with runners in scoring position. Their bullpen continues to find ways to blow games. Everyone in the lineup is and they go through these streaks in New York and Queens. They do, where everyone's just mid. Lindor, who has not been great this season after a potential MVP year last year. Juan Soto is having a better year than I'll give him credit for, honestly. But yes, Soto's been playing well. Alonso, sure. The rest of the lineup is struggling so bad right now. Nimmo's doing okay, but Vientos, McNeil, Marte, Mullins is not good right now. He's batting 190 as a Met this season. Francisco Alvarez will have his days, but man, just a mid lineup. Clay Holmes is going to give up runs to San Diego. He's going to give up runs to the Padres. Michael King, I think, is going to be somewhat effective. And as well, San Diego's won all 3 matchups this season with the New York Metropolitans. And the Mets, you're worrying a little bit right now if you're the Mets. You are. You're worrying about Arizona. You're worrying about San Francisco a little bit still. But probably the team you have to worry about the most, even though they are the worst team out of the bunch by far, is the Cincinnati Reds and, Elly De La Cruz, who bat 7th for the team now. We'll get to the Reds right now, because we're taking Padres minus 110, and here we go. Nerfy of the day, Reds and Cardinals. After 17 combined runs yesterday at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, I expect 0 runs in the first inning today. Full transparency, I got really close to going with the Reds money line today. I got really close to doing so, and I still might play it myself. The better bet, though, here undoubtedly is the Nerfy. Why did I want to go Reds? I'll go over that real quickly. Andrew Abbott starting. I know he struggled a little bit in late August. I think he's better now after that last start in San Diego where he went 8 innings of 1-run baseball. And that's the guy who was an all-star this year. Michael McGreevy is pitching for St. Louis. He's been okay this year. He will have his random really good starts, but he usually doesn't put good starts back to back. Last start against the Mariners was really good. He's due for a bad start today. However, he'll get it done in the first inning because why? He's facing the Cincinnati Reds. Now, the Reds burned us the last time we played the Nerfy. The Reds burned us on every single game we had in Sacramento, right? So yesterday, I took a break with the Reds. I just sat back and I watched them play the St. Louis Cardinals yesterday. And I wondered to myself, where has this been? 11 runs on the road? What? You were playing at the most hitter-friendly park other than Colorado, and you get swept because you couldn't score in Sacramento. And then you go to St. Louis and all of a sudden everybody can hit. I mean, maybe moving Ellie down to the 7th spot, lit a fire under everybody's ass. I don't know. Everyone got going yesterday. By the way, why Sal Stewart doesn't play every single day is beyond me. But that's okay, because Sal Stewart bats in the 5 spot still. He should be batting in the 2. The one guy I'm concerned about today with the Reds in the first inning, there's 2, but primarily, it's Mlb Marte. He's the one who burned us the other day, right? Marte against the Athletics on Sunday's game. It was Sunday, right? Yes, Sunday's game, hit the solo home run. Reds eventually lose that game because that's just what they do. That's the guy who scares me a little bit against McGreevy, who, again, we've gone over his trends, right? He'll have a really good start, and then he'll fall completely back down to earth and be horrible after. Coming off a good start against the Mariners, we can expect some heavy regression today. Andrew Abbott, not concerned about, really. I know, again, he was bad earlier, or I guess a month ago in August. The Cardinals lineup doesn't scare me. It never has. I know, right? Brendan Donovan's having a great season. Alec Burleson's having a great season. Those are not guys who pop off the page for me. Okay, they're good players. They're not guys that I'm going to simply just, I'm not going to play the Nerfy because of Brendan Donovan, because of Alec Burleson. Those are guys, again, there are good hitters in every lineup. Right, every lineup in baseball have good hitters at the top of the lineup. I know yesterday we got burned on the Nerfy as well. Thanks, White Sox, for scoring. You're going to have to take your losses somewhere. I think Andrew Abbott against these good bats, don't get me wrong, and Donovan and Burleson is manageable. And Contreras in the 4, sure. But I think Abbott's going to be able to get it done. I think the Reds ultimately get it done as well. I think they win back-to-back games here in St. Louis. For as many times as I've said, the Red season's over, like they're done, look at them still. You have the tiebreaker over the Mets, which means you are... they're 2 games out of the playoffs. Excuse me, they're 2 games, because they don't have the tiebreaker. They're not 1. They're 2 games out of the playoffs. But still, Mets lose today like we think they're going to. Reds win. Now you're a game back with, 8 games to go. They're not out of it in the slightest. We will go over more of the playoff situations and scenarios as we go on here to close the year. But I am taking Cincinnati Reds and St. Louis Cardinals Nerfy today with Michael McGreevy and Andrew Abbott at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Our final best bet of the video comes with our second money line. I'm doing it again. Phillies yesterday cashes at plus money. Phillies again today is going to cash at plus money. Now I know what you may be thinking. Phillies just clinched the NL East yesterday. Very tough game that they won 6-5. Harper goes yard. Schwarber goes yard. Weston Wilson goes yard. JT Realmuto with a clutch sac fly in the 10th inning. They barely get out of Los Angeles with a victory. Johan Duran chokes the save because Pages hits one into deep left field with 2 outs remaining. I get all of that. Okay, I really understand that. And they had the whole, they popped the champagne in the clubhouse, even though apparently I saw a video of Bryce Harper chugging something. It was apple juice. So I don't even know if there was any booze last night in the Phillies clubhouse. I'm sure there was, and they just weren't showing it to us on TV. I think the Phillies, though, are still, locked in here. And this is why. Guys, this game tonight goes beyond just, it's another Phillies-Dodgers game, right? The Phillies, worst case, they're going to be the 2 seed. They know they're not playing in the wild card round. They need to lose out, and still, they could probably get the 2 seed. They're a team that's going to go instantly to the NLDS. This is a Phillies team that now going to the playoffs is a given, but it's not a given going forward, right? We talked about this at the beginning of the year. The future for Philadelphia post this season isn't the brightest. I mean, there are teams in the National League East. I'm not even going to put the Nationals in there, but the Mets still have a brighter future than the Phillies because they have everyone locked down. Phillies got, for the most part, 2 guys for certain that they're going to have for the next 5+ years, 3+ years, hell. That's Bryce Harper and that's Trey Turner. Beyond those 2 guys, the Phillies are a question mark. So why I bring up the example of Harper chugging apple juice in the clubhouse, and why I say that's important, is because this could be the Phillies' last chance. And I think everyone in that clubhouse understands the importance of this run this year. I mean, you can really detail the last 3 seasons of Philadelphia postseason baseball. This is the Bryce Harper era, right? Took them 3 years to get to the postseason. 2022, they get in. They fire Girardi, right? Rob Thompson becomes the manager halfway through the year. They find a way in the postseason. They go to the World Series. They lose to the Astros. For as much as that sucks, you get there, right? You're not supposed to be there. Harper has one of the greatest postseason runs you're ever going to see in 22. 23, now you're a favorite, right? You add Trey Turner. Turner was 24. No, Turner was 23. Pretty sure. But you add pieces, right? I'm pretty sure Trey was 23. Are we still at the Dodgers then? No, Trey was with the Dodgers in 20. No, it's 22. No, yeah. Trey was there in 23. Anyways, right, you add Trey Turner. You get pieces. 23, you're the favorite essentially now to at least win the National League East or at least get out of the NL, right? You beat the Braves in the wild card round. You're established now. They get the D-backs in the NLCS, and they were a huge favorite to beat the D-backs in the NLCS. They were up 3-2 going back into Philly, with 2 games remaining in the series, just needing 1. And they lose. They lose back-to-back games in Philly. So now you go into 2024, and you're the favorites again out the National League East. You finally win the National League East for the first time since 2011. And you get to the playoffs and you lose to the second-place Mets. I mean, it's the opposite of what the Phillies used to do to teams, or used to do to the Braves, right, once they got into the dance. This might be the last run, at least with this core. Ranger Suarez is hitting free agency. Zach Wheeler will not be back next season. Kyle Schwarber is hitting free agency. There's a lot of question marks. So what will the Phils be this year in the playoffs? And this is going back to my point. I know this is a very long-winded way to say Phils money line today. They're still locked in. The Phillies Twitter page, and who cares what the Phillies Twitter page says, but they said something along the lines of celebrate tonight, but lock back in tomorrow. And that's my whole thing here. They know the importance of this series. They know that they have a legitimate chance to get the number 1 seed in the National League. They're only a game behind the Brewers right now, who are not playing the hottest of baseball. Obviously, they have cooled down. I don't know if Philly wants that 1 seed, because there's a chance you get that 2 seed and run into like the D-backs in the second round. But I think you'd probably take your chances playing either the Cubs or the Padres in the NLDS over potentially the Dodgers. So there's a chance by Philadelphia winning in Los Angeles this week, they can avoid the Dodgers until potentially the National League Championship Series. And who knows if the Dodgers even get there. Beyond that, I'm going to take the Phillies today because of Christopher Sanchez. This is a pitcher who is likely going to finish second place in the Cy Young voting in the National League, only behind Paul Skeens, who does pitch for the Pirates today. I'm going to stay away from that game completely after what happened last week in Baltimore. I hope the Pirates win, but I don't care. I do care because I like Skeens. But anyways, Christopher Sanchez has the 4th best ERA out of all his qualified starters in baseball this season at 2.57. His last 3 starts, he's given up exactly 1 run in the last 3. He's been great. Shohei Ohtani's pitching for the Dodgers. Okay, I don't care. Meet Bryce Harper, who went yard yesterday. Meet Kyle Schwarber, who hit a leadoff home run yesterday as well. Shohei pitching doesn't really move me. I mean, is Ohtani a good pitcher? He is. Is he elite right now, pitching-wise? No, not really. 3.75 ERA. And the Dodgers still do this thing with Ohtani where, he'll pitch 4 innings, maybe 5. It's not a guy who really moves me. I think the Phillies are going to jump all over Ohtani, personally. I think Christopher Sanchez is going to have a great game. That equates to me to a Phillies victory. And if everything plays out the way we think it's going to play out today, tomorrow the Padres will be 1 game back of Los Angeles, really 2, but 1 game back of the Dodgers, and the Cincinnati Reds will be 1 game back of the New York Metropolitans. It's an exciting 2 weeks left in Major League Baseball for the regular season. We are going Phillies money line, though, to close the night today. Dodgers lineup against Christopher Sanchez, I think, is going to be difficult. They got on Suarez yesterday, but, Christopher Sanchez is better. So give me the Phils today, plus 100 on the road, plus 105 on the road in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Folks, thank you all for watching our MLB Best Bets here on September 16th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment. If you do disagree with any of the picks, we'll be back tomorrow for more daily MLB Best Bets and later today for our NFL Week 3 predictions as well. Folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba